concrete walls. There's a place for us where we could go, where we could be alone. Between city lights, we don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. I'm very happy to be here with you on a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday evening, if that's where you are. Oh, where you are? Oh, you can't. Normally you can't see me because I got this desk cam set up for later. Oh well, I guess I better just switch right to the face cam. Boom. Here I am. Man, I swear I shaved my head today, and I guess I missed a spot. I got a little bit of stubble. Uh-oh, I'll get that after the stream. I don't think you guys can tell. Look, see, I'm all groomed. Uh-huh. I did that for you. I did that for you. I don't always do it. I'm not gonna pretend I always pay attention to my grooming, but today I did. Welcome to the stream, everybody. It is a little bit of a weird stream because we had our time change. We're in winter time now, so the sun's going to be going down at, I think it goes down at 3 o'clock, 3:30 or something like that. 3:30 in the afternoon, 4 maybe. But that's okay because I get up really early. I get up first thing in the morning when the sun comes up around 9:30 or 10. So near as I can tell, we've now just got about 4 hours of light, which that's fine. I'll make sure to get my flying in. What am I? I'm joking. It doesn't go down that early. It feels like in the winter the sun goes down super early. I probably would notice that less if I got up earlier. But somebody asked, and I didn't see who it was. What's your opinion on daylight saving time? My opinion is that whatever summertime is, it needs to stay that way all year round. I think that is daylight saving time. And this wintertime is standard time. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't, I know that not everybody agrees with that, but that's my opinion. The argument that I make is that I think there's more value in having more light in the evening. And I know this is subjective. By the way, I know that there are people who try to make objective arguments about productivity and energy usage and so on. I know that those arguments are made, but hang on a second. One second. There we go. I know that people make those arguments. I'm not trying to do that. This is purely subjective. I don't get up early in the morning because I'm self-employed. I know that some people say that they would rather have some sun in the morning while they're going to work because they don't like driving to work in the darkness. I don't care about your opinions. This is my opinions. We're just nobody's right, nobody's wrong, so we're just gonna argue about it, and then somebody will win, right? You can't have a consensus about this. You can't debate this. It's going to be one way or the other. I think that I have gotten up early in the morning sometimes in my life to go, like sometimes I'll have a consulting job and I'll need to be at work at 6:30 a.m. and I'll get up at 4:30 or something and take a shower and go to work. You know, when I was, in college, I often got up early in the morning to go to classes. I have had 9-to-5 jobs where I had to be up at 6:30 to go into the office. I have done these things in my life. And personally, when I get up in the morning and I'm going to work, my whole fucking day is ruined. Sorry for cussing. Apologize. My whole day is already ruined. I'm going to work. I don't want to be doing this. So who cares if it's dark? Who cares if it's dark? I'm going to get up. I'm going to go out. It's going to be dark. What? Let me ask you this. You get up, you're going out to catch a train or get in your car and go to work. You got your coffee or whatever it is, and the sun's coming up and the birds are tweeting, and you get to think, look at what I'm about to miss. Look at what I'm about to miss. What a beautiful day is going to be out here while I'm sitting in the office. That's just teasing you. You want it to be dark first thing in the morning when you're commuting. And you get to work, and now your head's down and you're in the office and you're working, and there's something going on outside those windows, if you can even see the windows, right? And then, now the day, it's whatever time it is, you're off work. Now the rest of the day is yours. Your precious few hours to yourself before you have to do it again tomorrow. That's when it needs to be sunny. That's when you want the light. And that is why standard time, summertime, is how it should be all the time. Period. That's my opinion. That's my argument. Now let's say this. If you got a job where you don't have to be into work until 9:30 or 10 maybe, or 11 for some reason, you got a weird shift. Well, now maybe some of that morning time might be valuable to you, I guess. But like I said, I don't care about you. I don't care about your opinion and what's good. That's my argument, though. My argument is let's take a poll. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take a poll. By the way, we are also going to talk about FPV, but we'll start with some BS and then we'll talk about FPV. We're going to do a poll that we will look at later in the stream. Hello. Can we start a poll? I think we can all agree that the way we do it now is stupid. Okay? But we're going to make the poll. Here's what the poll is going to be. Daylight saving time. Keep it how it is now. I am a psychopath. Switch to summertime all the time. Come on. Switch to winter time all the time. I am a psychopath. No, We'll leave those neutral. We're going to ask the community. Why can't I? Oh, this answer. Okay. YouTube says I can't do that. Okay. All right. Now we'll talk about FPV a little bit while you guys do the poll. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. We are going to be taking your questions about FPV and other things, if you prefer. Go watch Stephen Fry on the history of daylight saving time. I will watch anything that Stephen Fry hosts. Anything that Stephen Fry hosts. I will watch it. I will give him a chance. Heck yeah. We're going to take your questions here in the chat. If you guys want to ask questions here in the chat, I will be reading and answering some of them. I'm going to be taking these beautiful people. Oh, have you noticed what wonderful people there are over here on the right side of the screen? They are my patrons, and they get exclusive access to my Discord server where they can chat. Yeah. And I'll be answering their questions and reading their comments. Thank you so much for you guys for being. You guys are I like you so much better than the people over here on the left side of the screen. You guys are, and you know why I like you better? It's not because you joined my Patreon and you pay me. It's because of who you are as a person that caused you to join my Patreon and pay me. Shit. I screwed that up. Also, if you want to hit the $ down here at the bottom and leave a super chat, I'll be reading super chats. Here they are. I'll be reading the super chats a little later in the stream. But first, let's get some questions. Can we please not get him on a rant this early? Too late. Already ranting. Victor, I will not be commenting. This live stream, occasionally I go off topic and talk about some things in the world. I will not be commenting about Elon buying Twitter. Here's what I'll say about Elon buying Twitter. I am not really active on Twitter. I don't use Twitter. I don't really have any emotional investment or stake in Twitter. I am amused from a distance. Like, if I saw that a building was on fire, and I knew for sure that no one was in the building, and in fact, it was an old abandoned building that no one owned, and I saw the old derelict building that I drive past every day for work in the dark because it's daylight saving time. Oh, it's on fire today. And the firefighters are there, they're putting it out, but they're not trying real hard, just trying to keep the fire from spreading. I would look at it, I'll be like, oh, this is going to be good. We gotta, oh, the flames are pretty. And that's kind of how I feel about what's going on over at Twitter right now. Maybe the building will get rebuilt. Who knows? That's how I feel about it, though. Yeah, I used to fly that Bando. Maybe a little disappointed. I would have more investment in that abandoned building than I do in Twitter because I don't really use Twitter. Let's take some questions. Though. Is Social Stream Ninja working? Social Stream Ninja. Oh, I gotta pop out the chat. Hold on. Get my chat plugin working here real quick. There we go. Is that gonna? I gotta reload this. Oh, let me get these super chats because I gotta reload this window. Real quick, do these super chats. I usually like to start with free questions, but Blackbug Digital, thank you for 250 of a currency I don't recognize, but thank you for it. What up, Joshua? Just a shout out for Banks FPV and Pia from the Philippines. He's my co-pilot. I bet he's getting married soon because of FPV. She met someone when we flew in the province. Well, congratulations to Banks FPV and Pia on your nuptials. That means you're getting married. That doesn't mean you're boinking. Nuptials. It's common common misunderstanding. Steven's Box, thanks for a $10 super chat. Squeezing in reading glasses gives halfway decent clarity for my DJI Goggles V1. Walk Snail goggles, I focus on positions, give better clarity and detail. Can I expect the same from the Goggles 2? I don't know off the top of my head what the diopter range of the Goggles 2 is, but as long as you're within the diopter range, there's a fair chance. I can't be sure because obviously they're your eyeballs and I couldn't say for sure, but they both have adjustable diopters. That's for sure. Just look at what your diopter is and see if it's in the diopter range that the goggles support. Also, if you have like a lot of astigmatism, you may have issues. Demir FPV, thank you for 50. God dang it, I don't like when it does that. The auto. Demir FPV, hold on. Thank you for 50 TRY. My long-range 7-inch quad crashed over the mountain. Why, and how can I prevent this accident in the future? I mean, I'll look, but chances are you fail-safed. Hold on 1 second. I will get that. I got to get one more message before I reload this window. Wait 1 second. Peter, thank you for, I think these are Hungarian Florin. How can I create a servos custom mixer in Betaflight to use an old SP Racing F3 as a servo extender, only to forward aux channels directly to the 8 outputs? Oof, you want to forward? I don't know if you can forward 8 servos on an SP Racing F3, Peter. You have to have a dedicated mixer, a dedicated timer and DMA channel for every single servo output. I'm skeptical that an SP Racing F3 could do that. So that's what I would say. Let's take a look here at this 7-inch quad from Demir FPV and see if we can figure out why they crashed. And then we'll take some free questions. Where did we crash? What's the timestamp? Do we have a timestamp? I mean, I could just look, I suppose. Oh, now we're upside down. Okay. Oh, geez, what the F happened here? Okay, well, let's back up slightly. We had something serious happen. I can see the vibrating. I was going to guess failsafe too, Jeremy Sarge, but that was not a failsafe. Let me check the audio for you guys. Do you have audio? Let's see here. Okay, so we got a little bit of vibrations or jello here, but not much. Nothing crazy going on. We're flying. Is this a multi-rotor? It's a Falcon 7. Okay, it's not a wing. Oh, okay. That, to me, sounds like you broke a prop. That's going to be my first. Let's let you guys watch it for slightly more than 1/2 a microsecond. We'll watch the whole crash. Oh my goodness, this is bad. Oh, we're not coming back from this. Oh yeah, it's trying to fly. No, we're done. Nope. Just disarm, bro. You're done. Oh, no. Oh, it's kind of flying. Wow. I mean, I don't know how the motor hasn't smoked. Is the motor going to smoke now? Or are we just going to crash? Oh, bring it home, baby. Bring it home. It's not coming home. It's just not coming home, right? Clearly. He's trying to bring it home. Oh, man, he's trying to save it. I mean, if we smoke a motor, at least we get the GoPro back, is what he's... Why are you going? Are you flying home? What are you doing? Did he get it back? I mean, he's under control. I am impressed. I am super impressed that you have not smoked this motor, first of all, and that you are still flying. Are you flying? I can't tell it. You're 60 miles an hour. I kind of can't see if you're even progressing. Where are you going? Why are you... Oh, there we go. She done. Boom. Oh, can he... No. He can't turtle mode out of it. So, first of all, kudos on whatever your motors you were running for surviving that abuse. A lot of motors would just light on fire. What I think happened is that a prop broke. So I don't think it was a loose prop. No Skate FPV questions a loose prop. A loose prop, I think, would that period where it was going with like a ridiculous amount of vibrating, that was a prop where you like lost one blade on the prop, okay? And now the prop is off balance. A loose prop would be squeaking. It would be going ree, but it would not be going and I don't think it would be vibrating like that. I think you lost one blade on your prop. I could be a loose motor. It's possible, but the way it just suddenly happened to me feels like a prop. The fact that you kept flying as long as you did means that, like, my guess is that you had 2 out of the 3 blades. Were they 3-blade props or 2 blades? Let's see if I can get an answer. Or were they 3-blade props or 2-blade props? If it was a... What kind of prop was it? That's my question. Let's see if I can get an answer here. I'm just watching the chat. But to me, my first guess is that you exploded a prop. Then were able to fly on the remaining 2 props just barely. And then the hub exploded and you lost the rest of the prop. The vibrations finally caught up with you. The hub shattered and the rest of the prop broke. Why did the prop break, of course, is going to be your next question. That's a harder thing to answer. If you he says 3-blade HQ 7035. Okay, yeah. If you were on 2-blade props, I would not think that you would keep flying on just 1 blade of a 2-blade prop. But I have many times seen a quadcopter fly home with 2 blades out of a 3-blade prop. It's super off balance, and oftentimes you smoke the motors, but it will fly. Let's see, 7035. I think it probably one of the blades broke off at the hub is likely. That's the weakest part and the place where they usually break. I couldn't say why it broke though, because you weren't doing anything. You weren't like doing any crazy flippy flops or crashed into anything. It just broke. If you had over tightened the nut, you would have stressed the hub and the hub would have shattered. But in my experience, when that happens, the whole prop goes. My guess is that one of your props broke off at the hubs, at the hub, but the hub was intact, maybe weakened. And then the vibration finished off the hub and that's when you crashed. You have to figure out why that prop broke though. I can't, you know what happened to the quad? And I have really no idea why it happened. Did you use Loctite? Otis has a great suggestion. Did you use Loctite on your prop nuts? Don't do that. It weakens the plastic. You don't need it. The second guess would be a loose motor screw. And the motor, like the last motor screw that was holding on became loose. The motor was vibrating, and then finally the screw worked its way out. However, I think that moment where it goes from vibrating to silence and then to me, if you had a motor that cut loose, you would have heard some thunk, 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 because the motor would have kept trying to spin for a while until it finally ripped itself off. So the way that the motor goes from to me feels like a prop flying off, not a motor. All right. I can't tell you why it broke, but that's my guess. Did anything impact the prop? Like, was there a bird strike or something? I mean, we didn't see that. We didn't see anything. Let's look one more time. Oh, wait. Do you hear that whistle? There's more evidence. Listen. Is there a whistle at a certain... What the F is that? What's going on? Hold on. Go back to the beginning. There's like a really crazy whistle. Do you hear that? What is that? I don't think that's normal for a 7-inch. I don't know. It's not a loose prop. That would be a squeaking. I think. And what I'm specifically noticing is that whistling sound comes in at certain RPM ranges. I don't think it's loose. I mean, I don't fly a ton of 7-inch, so I don't think that's normal. A lot of people saying it sounds normal to him. Maybe. There, that whistle is a resonance or something. It's not an upside down prop, or I doubt you would. You can see his throttle position, Nick. In the lower right, you can see the throttle position. You can't see it because I'm covering it up. The throttle position here, he's only at like 50% throttle. It's not an upside down prop, I don't think. So, all right. So that's, I think, as long as we're going to talk about this. But my guess is you had a damaged prop. The prop was stressed during the flight. Finally, you hit the right RPM range to overload it, and it broke. And that's what you gotta figure out. Was there something wrong with your prop? Did you over tighten it, etc.? All right, good troubleshoot. That is definitely going to make it up on the Joshua Bardwell Livestream Clips channel. If you guys don't know, I got a Livestream Clips channel. You can subscribe over there. Blunty does clips for my highlights from my live streams, and if you don't get to watch every single part of every live stream, definitely go check that out. Joshua Bardwell Livestream Clips. You can just Google that, or you can just go sub over there. 6.4 thousand subscribers is pretty good. Could be higher. Could be higher. Get on over there. Jason Aviator has a question. Jason asks, I recall... Let's see if I can do my chat plugin. Yeah, here we go. I recall you mentioned at least once a process of copy-pasting the OSD configuration from one quad to another. Do you have a video where you view these steps? I don't. But here. So, Jason, I will be honest with you about the way that I actually do it. Where's my... That's what I get for cleaning my desk. Should never clean my desk. I won't find what I'm looking for. Never clean, people. If you want to be able to find your shit. Never clean. Okay, good to know. Keep that in mind. By the way, I haven't forgotten the poll. We're going to get to the poll a little later in the stream, but I haven't forgotten. What I do is I set up a preset. I have my own custom GitHub repo for Betaflight presets, okay? And I have an OSD preset that I made where I can just quickly set it up exactly how I want it. Now, a lot of people will not enjoy doing this because it involves using GitHub, which is, let's see, Git bash here. And it involves knowing how to set these presets up and so forth. So here in the firmware presets, I have presets 4.3 OSD, and here's my OSD presets file, which just for perspective, here's what it looks like. And if you have a little bit of background in like XML, HTML, JavaScript, any kind of programming background, like I just look at what other people do and I'm like, oh, I see this option. And so I just copy other people's work and modify it, like, right? So that's how I do it. But if you don't want to do all that nonsense, then what you need to do is you need to copy these lines from your CLI dump. All of the lines that begin with set OSD, and I also like to copy the set VCD video system, although that's only if I know the video system that I'm going to be using. Set OSD. Okay? So just copy all the set OSD lines and paste them into the new quad, and you're good to go. And by the way, this is how I use GitHub. For those of you who are like, well, I don't know, GitHub seems complicated. Look, this is how I use GitHub. I press the up arrow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, till I see this line. This is the beginning of the process of updating the GitHub repo. And then I just hit enter. And then I do the next one. And then I do the next one and I modify the commit name. And then I do the next one and I'm done. I literally could not remember. I probably could at this point, but I literally could not create these commands from scratch. I simply go up, 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 up. Okay, 2, 3, 4, done. I updated my GitHub repo. That's me. I should make a batch file out of it, for goodness sake. It'd be easy. You can also type get OSD, by the way, and it'll just show you those lines if you prefer. Brian, why is it funny that I have Git in a Dropbox? Am I doing something dumb and I don't know it? Oh, it's funny because, I see. It's funny because Git is already reproduced all over the place, so why am I using Dropbox to do it? Why don't I just download the repo on another computer using GitHub? I see your argument. Yeah, good point. But this way on my laptop, the files are always updated and I never have to learn one more GitHub command to do like a checkout or whatever it is that updates it. See, I don't know. I'm not interested in using a GUI. I've heard enough people say that you should learn GitHub. That GitHub GUI is easy right up until you hit a use case that they didn't expect and then it screws you. Then again, I'm not really learning GitHub commands anyway, so there you go. Yeah. If you let's see here. Peter, going back to the question about the servos. Peter doesn't care if it's 8 channels. Where was Peter? I can't. Oh, Peter, I can't type your name because it has diacritics that I don't know how to type on my keyboard. How to forward any number of aux channels. 8 would be nice, but not necessary. Okay, so Peter, what you're probably doing, if you need just 2 channels, then what you're probably doing, Peter, is you're using channel forwarding. No, you're using servo tilt. What you need to be using, Peter, is channel forwarding, and that way you can forward an arbitrary number of aux channels to the servo outputs. So you would enable channel forwarding, you would go to the servos tab, and this is where you would choose like which aux channel is output to which servo, right? So this would be aux 1 on servo 1, aux 2 on servo 2, etc., 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 right? Okay? That's how you would do that. But then, Peter, you would need to go to the CLI and manually, you would need to manually remap. So, for example, perhaps you could do resource servo 1. Let's say that we're going to use LED strip for servo 1, so we'll do BO3 because LED strip is BO3, etc. Maybe you could use the motor outputs. So here's the problem though, Peter. If we type timer, on this flight controller, these are the number of timers that the flight controller has. Every servo output needs a dedicated timer, okay? So theoretically, this flight controller could support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 timers. But here's the thing. Hang on, back up. You've got an SP Racing F3. I don't even know if the version of Betaflight that runs on an SP Racing F3 supports these features. I honestly don't. So possibly this is just not available to you. But this is how I would do it today. We got timer B09. What resource is B09? That's the I2C. Is it used somewhere else? Like a UART? Like what pin is B09? I don't even see it. It's used for the I2C pad. Okay, so I guess that's what I would use for one of my servo outputs. Timer C08, I guess there we go. So motor 1 is going to be another servo output. C09 is motor 2, etc. This is how many servos you can possibly have at most, because you need a dedicated timer for every servo. I hope that was helpful, Peter. Let's take some more of the super chats. Quadfather, thank you for a $5 super chat. Is heat an issue with the OS3 air unit? MadsTech released a brilliant solution on his channel this morning. Does MadsTech have an air unit? Did he pull it out of his Avata? I wouldn't know because I don't have an O3 air unit. So I would believe whatever MadsTech says. Although, here's the thing though. I don't think that MadsTech has an air unit, an O3 air unit. Because if he has an O3 air unit, then he's under NDA, right? Unless someone broke their NDA and gave it to him. If he had so he must have taken it out of the Avata? I don't know. He was just joking. People are saying he's joking. I haven't seen the video. People are saying he's joking. Let's check it out. I mean, great. That's a great little troll to get. Better digital video is coming from DJI. What do we got here?
Okay,
just
finishing.
Yeah, the double M in coming soon is your little cue from him that this is a joke. Let's see what he says. It's a 1 minute video.
Just finishing our OcuSync 3 first build. We've got our thermal paste on the air unit. We're going to place that onto the frame. And then we're going to mount the heatsink. That's going to make sure that the air unit works properly. And we're not going to have any problems in flight. Okay, so as you can see, the build is now finished. Now, obviously, the big difference on this compared to quads before O3 is the new heatsink. I chose to go with the AMD Wraith cooler because it has that cool RGB functionality as well. Now, the idea of this is to remove the excess heat away from that air unit. Obviously, whilst it's smaller than we've had before, it does use 40% additional power, and as a result of that, it's going to create more heat, and we need to move that heat away from the aircraft. Not only do we need that thermal paste.
All right, I have to assume that everyone knows this is a joke. That's not an O3 air unit. It's just a 3D printed dummy, and yeah, that's hilarious. Quadfather, in case you were serious, that's just a joke. Steven's Box, thanks for a $10 super chat. Having a tough time downloading black box data and matching it to my vids. Is there a system to the file naming timestamps are the same? So Steven's Box, Betaflight does have the theoretical capability to get real-time clock information. There is a Lua script that runs on your controller that sends real-time clock information from the controller, assuming the controller's clock is correct, to the flight controller over telemetry. In addition, if you have a GPS unit on the quad, I believe Betaflight will get the current date and time from that. And I think that it will correctly timestamp the files, although I'm not sure about that. I think if you're using a data flash chip, the files will not be timestamped at all, because it doesn't have a file structure per se. If you're using an SD card and Betaflight has access to a real-time clock through GPS or some other means, then the files should be timestamped correctly. But that is often not the case. So what do you do? Well, it's a good question. Here's what I do. If we look at my latest Spang video, for example, that has a black box saved. And if we look in the footage folder, I've got a separate folder for black box logs. One of these, so if we go look in here, I've got my black box logs saved from my flights. And what I'll do is, like, if you have an SD card, then Betaflight, you can put in the post-flight statistics, hang on, you can put the black box log number in the post-flight statistics. So, wait 1 second. Let me connect here. So in the OSD tab, oh, we're zoomed in. In the OSD tab, hang on. No, that's not what I meant to move. That's what I meant to move. In the OSD tab, right here in the post-flight statistics, you can choose black box number. So after you finish flying, that screen that pops up with your battery voltage and your flight time, it'll have your black box log number in it. What I'll do is I'll pick the quad up and I'll look at the black box number in the post-flight statistics, and then in the GoPro, I'll say this is log number 7. And that makes it easier to keep those synced up. Okay? If that's, like, you can get into a situation where you just have, like, a ton. Oh, it's empty. Hang on. You can get into a situation where you have a bunch of files. That's not even a good one. Is there a better example? I don't have one on my... I don't know if I have one on my hard drive right now. Yeah, okay, so here's a good one. So here's a case where I have just a day's worth of black box. You can't see that. What a joke. I have just like a day's worth of black box logs, okay? So here's a thing that you can do. Like, the timestamps are useless, obviously. If you look at the file sizes, okay, this is clearly not a flight. 400 kilobytes, not a flight. This is a flight, this is a flight, not a flight. So if you sort by size, and like anything less than like 1,000 kilobytes is probably not a flight. But or even if you don't delete those files, like this is a flight, this is a flight, this is a flight, this is a flight. So how many flights do I have today? 1, 2, oh, sorry, 1, 2, I don't know, because of course I might have armed and disarmed multiple times. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop these videos into my video editor. I'm going to find the flights. And what I could even do is I could say, okay, so here are my actual flights probably. And my last one then was 27. So then I could try and sync them up. Okay? Look at the sticks overlay. That's the general approach that I use. I also use the, what I'll do now, what I can then do, and we could actually do this. Yeah, we could do this. So let me start up. Let's try it. Let's do it. Black box viewer. Let's start up black box viewer. Yeah, let's actually do it. So open log file / video. This is in, what folder is this in? So let's say we're going to look at file, that's a good long one, 010010. Okay. Will it open? Will the video open? Oh. Black box viewer may not like this video. I don't know why it wouldn't, but okay. It's not happy about that. Let's try a different one. Well, okay. That's going to make this demonstration hard. What if I update the... It says it's an outdated version. What if I update the version? What if I download a new version of Blackbox Viewer? Well, I'm going to spend like 5 more minutes trying to get this to work. And then I'll give up and move on for the sake of the... Why does it say it's... Apparently I already downloaded this. Weird. Okay. I'm really surprised that I don't... Is this... have I got 2 versions installed by accident? Yes, okay, that's better. Okay, so let's open this file. Please open. Please open. No, it's going to barf. Okay, well, there you go. Unfortunately, I can't really easily demonstrate this because it's not liking opening my video files, and I don't really know why. But I would open the file, and then I would just look. Okay, so let's sort by name. So this is the first flight of the day. Is it this one? Okay. I'm gonna open this file. I'm gonna look for the arming point in the video. I'm gonna sync up the sticks, and then I'm just gonna see if it looks about right. Well, if, you know, and then if it's not that one, I'm gonna go to this one. We're gonna skip that one because that's like a turtle mode or something, and we'll do this one. And I'm just basing that on the file size. That's my tip. There you go. That's my tip. Coelho FPV, thank you for a $5 super chat. I have a flight controller, a Revo F405. I was at Betaflight 301. Ouch. Updated Betaflight for 3.1, applied custom defaults, no gyro. That probably means you flashed the wrong target. Right? That means you flashed the wrong target. That has to be, Coelho. Do you have the old 301 CLI dump? You should be able to get the target name from that. What's the target name? That's what I want to know. Anime Bot asks, can we reduce prop wash without touching filters in Betaflight? Can we reduce prop wash without touching filters in Betaflight? I mean, yes, but that's the #1 way to reduce prop wash, so I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Okay. That's the best way is to tune your filters. Or the best and first way to do it. Bib FPV, thank you for a €5 super chat. I think this needs a PSA. Betaflight will arm at 0 throttle, even if other sticks are at max. Broken gimbal, messed up calibration may lead to flyaways on arm. I mean, if the throttle is at 0 and the other sticks are at max deflection, it won't fly away. It'll just flip over, which is, granted, bad. But I wonder if people think that Betaflight should have an option to prevent arming when sticks are not centered. I don't find that idea completely ridiculous. I don't find that idea completely ridiculous. Make a feature request. Dominique Campbell, thank you for a $5 super chat. I know you're not that into planes. Do you think it's possible to use a motor for the elevator on a plane instead of a tail? I guess. It seems like really inefficient, but I mean, isn't that what a quadcopter does? Is use motors to control pitch. So I don't see why a plane couldn't do that. You would need a reversible motor, or 2 motors would probably work better. Oscillation Andy, thank you for a $5 super chat. Why does my TX12 Express LRS Bluetooth make the DCL sim on Steam crash when I turn it on? It's the only sim that does it. Happens every time. Oscillation Andy, I'm afraid that you have to ask the DCL developers about that. That's not a question that I'm capable of answering. Thank you for the super chat. MJ wants to know the best motor size for a 7-inch. 2806 up to something like the FPV Cycle 30mm motor are ideal for 7-inch. The KV is going to matter for 4S versus 6S, but the size of motor for 7-inch, I think it's widely acknowledged that the optimal size is around 28 to 30 millimeters. Mo FPV, thank you for a $5 super chat. What's the best way to secure my EP2 receiver to my micro quadcopter, specifically the Mobilite 7? Mo, for the EP2, I use double-sided Scotch Extreme mounting tape. That's what I use. I think that'll hold pretty well all by itself. For something as small and light as the EP2 receiver, it should hold just fine. Paul Whittingham, thank you for £5. I've just bought the Eachine 58, an adapter for the DJI goggles to use with a Whoop with OpenVTX. How would I set up the video connection? Paul, the 5.8 gigahertz analog video transmitter, there is no connection per se. It's just a broadcast like broadcast television. So the video transmitter powers up and it's just broadcasting. And then you would switch the goggles into AV input mode. And you've got the adapter plugged into the AV input on the goggles. And then using the module, you bought an analog module, right? You said you bought the adapter for the DJI goggles. Did you buy the module as well? You mean the module that you bought, the analog module that you bought, would have some kind of joystick or menu that lets you change the channel, and you would tune into the frequency that the video transmitter is broadcasting on. Steven's Box, thanks for a $5 super chat. Is there a good website where I can find all the best FPV equipment and check if they're in stock? Oh, Steven's Box, why? Of course, Steven's Box. Thank you for asking, and thank you for your super chat. A good website to know what kind of stuff is out there in the world of FPV is fpvknowitall.com. That's my website. Guess what? I can spam the chat because it's my chat. Suck it. Okay. No, sorry. I won't do that again. FPVKnowitall.com, home of the ultimate FPV shopping list, where you can find all my product recommendations in various categories. I thought we redid this page. Oh, well. Just wanted to know what good parts for a racing drone. Good parts for a racing drone. Well, here we go. Here we got some recommendations. That is fpvknowitall.com. And in addition, if you're looking for the ability to find stuff that's in stock, because everything's out of stock, searchfpv.com. Searchfpv.com is a website that I participated in the creation of. Let's just put it charitably. I didn't do any of the actual work. And we could just search for whatever we're looking for. DJI O3 Air Unit. Is it available yet? By the way, the search right now is super slow because it searches each store one at a time. We're just about to roll out a feature where it searches all the stores in parallel, and the search will be like 5 seconds to do as many stores as you want. So that's coming. There we go. Do we have any O3 Air Unit? We got a DJI Avata here. It's out of stock. Doesn't look like... No, oh, what a shame. Nobody's selling the O3 Air Unit yet. But we can search stores in the USA, Canada. Got 2 Canadian stores. Yay. North America, Europe, etc. And we can choose to search for in stock only. We also are about to add, hasn't been added yet, but we're going to be adding the ability to sort based on various things. So we're looking for that. Very exciting. Thank you for the opportunity to plug my stuff. Skimming FPV, thank you for a €6 super chat. Does motor output scaling influence battery usage readout as shown in the goggles? Well, there's no scaling on the battery readout, but obviously if you're spinning the motors at a lower RPM, you will use less current. So yes, you would use less power, less milliamp hours probably, but you would also do that if you just kept the throttle at a lower position. It doesn't scale the milliamp hour though. The milliamp hour just is what it is. Sakaris FPV, thanks for a $5 super chat. I'm setting up a pusher-style quad for the first time. Can you explain how to set it up? Sakaris, with a pusher-style quad, the motors are mounted. Think about this, Sakaris. Think about this. The motors are going to be mounted. Oh, hang on a second. Look at this. I set this up before the stream, and then I forgot. Boom. 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 Yeah. Wait 1 second. Deactivate when not showing. We don't want that. Sakaris, with a pusher quad, hang on. Don't do that. Why'd you do that? Is it because I wiggled the camera and the HDMI is loose? F you. F you so much. Oh, come on. That's the worst. That's the worst. I went to all this effort to do this, and now it's being a bitch. Oh, come on. For real though? 1, 2, 3. There. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, don't touch the camera again, I guess is the moral of this story. Nah, the HDMI port is flaky. It's a full-size HDMI too. So with a pusher quad, basically what's happened is that the motors are upside down, okay? But the motors still need to spin the correct direction, and they need to push air the correct direction. So if you've got a motor that when looking at it right side up needs to spin clockwise, right? Then when you flip it upside down, it still needs to spin clockwise when looked at from this direction, from the top. Okay? So just like you were setting up a regular quadcopter, you would look at it and you would go, motor number 1 is spinning clockwise or counterclockwise or whatever it needs to be, right? Well, if it's a pusher, the exact same thing needs to happen. The flight controller doesn't know and doesn't care that the motors are mounted upside down. The only thing it cares about is which direction the motors spin and what direction they push the air. So, you would look at this motor, and if your prop's out, you would look at this motor and it would need to be spinning props out, right? This one would need to be spinning counterclockwise, props out. This one would need to be spinning, this one's broken. This one would need to be spinning clockwise, etc. Clockwise, props out. Okay? So there's nothing different about setting up a pusher configuration quad. You look at the motors from top down, just as if the quad was not in a pusher configuration, and you verify that they're spinning the correct direction. Okay? Nope, wrong. There we go. Let's take a look. As long as we're looking at the stuff on my desk, let's take a look at this. Okay? I bought these. This is for... Oh, God, I'm going to touch the camera and it's going to freak out again. I need an HDMI extension just to stop from... HDMI extension cable so I don't break my camera's HDMI output. Wouldn't that be amazing? He was just about to show us the drones. 1 foot? Do we just want a 1 foot? I mean, I need just 6 inches. 6 feet. I don't want 6 feet. HDMI extender, swivel adapter. Yes. This is what I want. Yes, this will protect my poor camera. Will it? I mean, it's just going to be the exact same thing. Just slightly. Why would it be any different? I don't know. Okay, anyway. Sorry. I bought 4 of these Flywoo Explorers. Why did I buy 4 of them? Well, one of them has analog, one of them has HD0, one has DJI Naked Vista, and one has Walksnail. I have 4 of the exact same quad. Let's open them up. I have 4 of the exact same quad. The only thing that's different about them is the video transmitter. Ooh, it's tiny. Because, number one, I mean, I'd like to test these video transmitters against each other. Obviously, that's an interesting video to make. But, number two, I'm genuinely curious. Whenever people do tests of different video transmitters, one of the things that is harder to take into account is the effect of the weight on the flight performance. And so here we've got the exact same quad. The only difference is the weight of the video transmitter. And I'm gonna like see how they fly. Athix, I'm not sure a 90-degree HDMI. I mean, I could just move the cord so the cord was under less tension. I'm not sure why the connection is becoming flaky is the thing. So I have to say I did buy these. I have to say Flywoo was sort of, they were like, it's an expensive video, but we'll send them to you. And they were going to send me the 3 digital ones. And I was like, can you send me the analog one too? And I felt bad because it's like, this is like retail. This is like $1,000. And, you know, granted, their cost is less than that. But still, it's a lot of freaking money. So I went 50-50 with them on it. I paid about $500 to buy these. And they gave me a discount, a coupon code. So I should say, number one, technically this is not a completely objective sponsorship-free video. But, and also Flywoo should get some credit for participating and, you know, saying here, you can have some of these. So, here we have 4 of the Flywoo, what is it? What's it called? The 2S Nano Baby thingy. And I'm super excited to make this video. Analog. Let's get the scale out. Let's weigh them. Can I put my face cam? Oh, head cam green screen. Yeah. I want my face cam. Oh, there we go. Now you guys can see my beautiful face. I know that the live stream is more interesting when there's a human face to look at. Humans like looking at other humans' faces. Some of them do. Let's see. Let's put it on the. Let's make sure it's flat. Power on. Okay, so this is the analog, I believe. Let's just double check that. HD0. I'm wrong. See, that's why it's good to check. We should start with the analog. Where's the analog? Analog. Okay, so here's the analog. Hello, can you zero? Why? That's not okay. Okay. The analog, 34.1 grams. Okay. 34 grams for analog. HD0, 38 grams, 38.9, 39 grams. So it's 5 grams heavier. This is going to be Caddx Vista, Naked Vista, 44 grams. And Walksnail, 42 grams. 42 grams. So let's do that a different way. Analog. We're going to zero the analog. Can you decide? I just bought this scale, and I'm not loving the fact that it is, oh, are we happy now? Okay. So Analog. We're going to have analog be the 0 point. HD0 is 5 grams heavier than analog. Walk snail is 8 grams heavier than analog. And DJI is 11 grams heavier than analog. Very interesting stuff. I don't have anything under the scale, I assure you. I don't. Oh, is it this fucking... Sorry. This zip tie is messing it up, maybe? That might be it. Okay. Well, obviously, we have to fly it to really know what's what, but it's going to be a very, very interesting video, and I'm looking forward to making it for you. Let me ask you this. What do we need to see in this video that I might not think of? I'm curious if you guys want to leave a comment or leave a super chat letting me know what you want to see in the video. Very cool stuff. What's the analog VTX? Does it do 1.2 watts? No. So I'm torn about how to test the video range, because the video range, like the analog VTX, is not going to be as high output power. The HD01 is surely the 200 milliwatt output power. So this is only a comparison of the video range as pertains to microquads. Excuse me. And I know for a fact that if I release that video saying I compared HD0, Walk Snail, DJI, and analog, some people are going to be, let's just be straight. The HD0 people are going to be like, why didn't you use the HD0 can do 1 watt? I know, but not in this form factor. But the idea I think is that this is going to highlight something that all the other reviews I shouldn't say all, but many other reviews, including mine, overlook. And that is, you test the range and the image quality, okay? But you don't test the difference that the weight makes on the performance. And for micros, that matters. So it's going to be very, very interesting comparison. So let's not forget that poll. We're 1 hour into the stream. Let's check the poll about daylight saving time from the beginning of the stream. Okay. Oh, test them all at 25 milliwatts. That's interesting. I guess for racing? What do you guys think of that? Should we test them at 25 milliwatts? Is anybody... The only reason you would lock yourself at 25 milliwatts is if you're racing. Is anybody racing this? What should be done with daylight saving time? Going back to the poll. 61% of people say switch to summertime all the time. 27% of people say keep it how it is now. And only 11% of people say switch to wintertime all the time. There we go. Everyone agrees that wintertime is garbage. But some people feel like sometimes going to wintertime is better. That's how I read that. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Let's see. Willie asks, on Banggood, there's a sale for the EV300O for $279. Really? You got to be real careful with Banggood. Is it? Are you? Where are you seeing that, Willie? Is it the USA warehouse? Oh, there we go. God dang. What did I think of the EV300O? I can't remember. This is why I started a YouTube channel. I can't remember anything that happens in the world. Oh, I liked it. The EV300O is the Eachine version of the SkyZone Sky 04X, which is a very good goggle. If I'm remembering that right, that's a really dang good. Yeah, they're the same. Let's see. Can I see this? What are you doing, Bardwell? Sky 04X. Yeah, it's just got a little bit smaller screens, I think. That's, I think that's really good. Are they shipping it with the fixed ReadyMix module. No, the EV300O was not the one with the latency issue, Gizmo. I think that was the 300D. That seems like a hell of a deal. If that's a Skyo, I believe that's a Skyo 4X with a smaller screen. That's a pretty good deal, especially if it comes with the fixed Rapid Mix module. But the fixed Rapid Mix module is only $30 plus shipping, which is still a pretty good deal. Or you could try to shoehorn a Rapid Fire or a Fusion into there if you like. Yeah, this is that's a pretty good deal. I think it was the original 300D that had the issue. The 300O doesn't come with steady view. Okay, so personally, I would just junk this module and get a better module. And I know there are some issues with fitting Rapid Fire and or Fusion into these, but this is a pretty good price for a pretty good set of goggles, I would say. I don't agree with that. Who said that? Who said it? FPV Gizmo said, just test all the quads at 25 milliwatts or whatever power setting they can all do. Then power is not a factor. FPV Gizmo, here's why I don't like to do that. Number one, let's say that I set all of them to 200 milliwatts. They can all do 200 milliwatts. And then we do a test of the video system. That 200 milliwatts is not very precisely calibrated. Well, for DJI and Walksnail, maybe it is. We have no real way of verifying with the digital video transmitters that 200 milliwatts is calibrated because their bidirectional communication is very difficult to measure. The analog one, it might be 350 milliwatts, it might be 150 milliwatts. It's a complete crapshoot in many ways. So setting them all with max power, let's say I'm going to do a 0 to 60 acceleration test on a car. Well, I put my foot down, I floor it, and then, if we assume that the car has traction control and stuff, then the human element is mostly removed. I just put the pedal down and the car accelerates as fast as it can. With a video transmitter, when you set it to max power, it's doing the max that it can. And then when you do a range test, you've sort of removed that variable. And I think that's a more meaningful test than setting it to an arbitrary power and assuming that power is going to be the same between the different video transmitters. The other thing is that, the exception to that is if you're racing and you need to be set to 25 milliwatts. Okay, that's a realistic test. We're going to set it to 25 milliwatts and we're going to see what kind of performance we get because that's what you're going to do in the real world. But in the real world, I don't know when you would ever set a video transmitter to 200 milliwatts and care about, you're trying to have an apples to apples fair comparison, but you're not actually getting it. So I wouldn't do that. It is going to be interesting because here's the thing. The Vista is going to give you 1200 milliwatts. The Vista quad is going to fly the worst, spoiler, and it's going to crush every single other one in terms of range and penetration. This is going to be a very interesting video. Thank you, King Poopra, for a $20 super chat. Very generous super chat, too. King Poopra says, I got a Hexplorer, a Flywoo Hexplorer after your review. It's awesome. Glad you like it. Glad my review helped you out. Bannister Post says the Vista will put out 1200 milliwatts if you don't burn it out. Bannister, naked Vistas they don't burn out because they're naked. If they overheat, they shut down and they don't damage themselves. The main reason, in my opinion, the main reason naked Vistas burn out is because the mounting lets the boards touch and take damage. As long as they're securely mounted, a naked Vista, it will overheat faster, but simply overheating will not cause it to damage itself because as long as it'll just shut down and it won't burn out. That's my opinion. Aber the Ham, thank you for a $10 super chat. I did get your email. I haven't responded to it. Emails, Aber, emails where people ask me, can you help me solve this problem? And then I just answer the question. Those are easy for me to respond to. Emails where someone says, hey, do you want to do this thing that will then create an expectation or obligation on your part? Those are harder for me to answer because I have to think about my schedule and stuff. So that's why I haven't answered you yet. Rodney Edwards, thank you for £5. I'm about to invest in analog-specific goggles. Which goggles do you recommend, or is there anything on the immediate horizon worth waiting for? Yes, Rodney Edwards, the HD Zero goggle is 100. No, here's what I would say. If a $600-ish analog goggle might, or frankly, digital goggle, might be in your budget in the next month, then don't buy a goggle in the next month or two, because the HD Zero goggle could be a game changer. Now, it's supposed to come out. It's going to be a few months before it comes out, and maybe you don't want to wait that long. When is it? When is the HD Zero goggle supposed to actually be for sale? I think it's next year, early next year, but I'm not sure. Not sure about that. The HD Zero goggle will have HD Zero built in. It will have the ability to do analog through a module adapter, and its analog deinterlacing is the best of any analog goggle ever made, because they actually do proper deinterlacing and not just BS sort of frame shifting. And it will have the ability to work with the walk snail module. So in theory, it's like the one goggle to rule them all. If you care only about analog, you still might be motivated to buy the HD Zero goggle because it's got great screens and superior deinterlacing, and your analog video will look good. So you should at least look into that before you spend the money. But if $600 is not in your price range, then there's no reason to wait. FPV Gizmo says, if the video transmitters aren't accurate at 25 if they're not accurate at 200 milliwatts, why would you assume they're accurate at 25 milliwatts? Well, I don't, FPV Gizmo, but what's going to happen when you go to a race? You're going to set it to 25 milliwatts. Then what? Probably they're just going to let you fly and no one's going to care. So if it's inaccurate at 25 milliwatts, doesn't matter, because no one cares that it's actually at 25 milliwatts. They just care that you've set it to 25 milliwatts, and then you go race. Now, I know that some races, they will actually check your output power with a wand and stuff, and in that case, you would want to check it. But my point is that my point is this. If the test reflects a real-world use case, then creating a laboratory test that doesn't reflect the real-world use case could be interesting. Like, which would get better range if they were at exactly the same output power, down to the 1/1,000,000th of a milliwatt, DJI, HD0, analog, or walk snail? That's an interesting question. How much further would one of them go than the other? What would the video look like? Those are all interesting questions that would be very difficult to answer, because it would be very difficult to control the output power of the video transmitters so precisely. But that test would not in any way reflect what people really do. And so a lot of times when I set up a test, people will criticize the test and say that it's not scientific because there are these uncontrolled variables, which misses the point that I'm doing a test that reflects what people are really doing in the real world, and so my results reflect the results that they will get in the real world. Okay? It's like saying, I'm going to do a test to see which car gets the better gas mileage. And you have to control for some variables. Like if you have one that's only on the highway and one that's in stop-and-go traffic, that's not fair. That doesn't reflect real-world conditions. But you could also set up this hyper-scientific test in a wind tunnel, right, on a treadmill, and measure the car's fuel efficiency to this crazy precise degree, that doesn't reflect what will happen in the real world, and that's not meaningful. So. Zipper Lips, thank you for a $10 super chat. Can timing be adjusted on FetTech ESCs? I don't know for sure. It's been a long time since I looked at a FetTech ESC. Can the chat save me from this one? Can timing be adjusted in FetTech ESCs? Willie has an iFlight Success E F405 ES. Oh my goodness. Willie has an iFlight Success E F4 and a 45 amp ESC. I want to switch to 6S. Is changing the motors with lower KV the only change I need to do? Yes. And if you didn't want to change the motors, you could theoretically use a 66% motor output limit, although there's some risk to that. Thank you for being a patron, Willie. Willie's in the patron chat. Hectectica says, I'm transferring my motors, flight controller, ESC from a 5-inch to a newer frame. I'm leaning towards the Mr. Seal Apex DC. Is there better for freestyle? Is it overpriced? Thank you for a $5 super chat, Hectectica. The Apex is a very, very good frame. Let's start there. Is it overpriced? There are people out there who would say that any frame that costs more than $25 is overpriced because the TBS Source 1 is all the frame anybody ever needs, and you can get it for $25, $26. So every frame is overpriced. And there are people who are okay with paying a premium for a frame. Now, I will say that there are some frames out there that sell for $80, $90, $100 or more, and I look at them and I personally say, I don't see anything really special about this frame. I'm not going to name names because I'm not trying to shit on anybody in particular, and you might have a different opinion. I look at the Apex and I go, that's a really nice frame. So if you feel like you want to spend the money on the Apex DC, the Apex is a very good frame. The Apex DC is a very good frame. Mr. Steel's add-ons are nice. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, here, look. This is a brand new, never flown, not even maidened. Ooh, let's go to the overhead cam. Where's the overhead cam? Not even maidened. Oh, so I love it. I love when a quad is like this. I haven't ever flown it. There's no grass on it. Everything is perfect. It is not broken. I know that when I go to fly this, it's going to be as good as it ever will be. And I like looking at it. This is my frame, the JBQAVS. I like it. I don't know. Stupid capacitor sticking off the bottom of the iFlight ESC. What are you doing, iFlight? Anyway, it's not the point. So, like, at the end of the day, if you feel like you want the Apex DC and you like, it's not just cosmetics. That's a really solid frame. But also, you know, is there another frame that's just as solid but costs less? Probably. But, you know, you just have to decide. You just have to decide that I like this frame, I'm going to get it. And the DC is a solid choice. I wouldn't steer you away from it. The Apex. People want me to weigh this quadcopter. 370. We need a battery and some props. Let's see. Where's it going to come in with a battery? 560 with a battery. Where's it going to come in with a GoPro? This GoPro does have a battery in it. GoPro Hero 8. 677. Baby! Under 700 grams with a GoPro. That was my goal when I worked to design this frame. 677. Woo! That's going to fly good. Now, here's the question. Hang on. So I haven't weighed this. This is the first time I've weighed this. Legit. I participated in the designing of this frame and the refinement of this frame, let's say. This frame already existed, and then I asked them to make some changes to it. My goal was to get the weight of the final quadcopter under 700 grams because I think they fly better that way. That's so gratifying to have succeeded at that. Let's do this. Hang on. My stupid zip tie has to go. Okay. Tear that. This is the quadcopter with Zing 2 motors. 362.5. We're going to tear that. There we go. Okay. This is the quadcopter with Imperials. These are 25 millimeter Imperial motors. 22 grams heavier. 22 grams heavier. Interesting. 22 grams. I'm surprised it's only 22 grams. 4 motors, 5 grams a motor. No, that's about right. That's about right. Whoops. Hang on. You're right. I got to take the prop nuts off. That's going to close the gap even more. Because the Zings didn't have prop nuts on them. Thank you, chat. Keep me honest. 19 grams. So 20 grams. 5 grams a motor. That's about right. You know what I'm going to do, right? Ciati is going to come visit my house. And we're going to fly these back to back blind without knowing which is which. And we're going to comment on the difference. Does the extra torque of the Imperials help? Does the 20 grams of weight affect it? We'll see. Now, these motors, I can't tell you about because these motors are a new prototype motor from FPV Cycle. You can know that they are here we go. We got prop nuts again. They are about 6 grams heavier than the 2207s, so they're very close in weight to the 2207s. Bob has asked me not to reveal their exact dimensions, because you know how he is with people copying his motors. I respect his request. 6 grams heavier. And we're going to fly these back to back, and we're going to see what we think. And here's what I predict the output's going to be. And Ciati, I hope you don't mind me spoiling this, but I think we're not going to be able to tell the difference at all. I think that we will fly them blind, and we'll completely... The first thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to give Ciati one of these quads, which is going to be randomly selected. And then I'm going to randomly select another one. I'm going to plug it in. He's going to fly it, and I'm going to say, was that the same one or a different one than last time? And he's going to say, same or different. And we're just going to do that. He's going to fly it for 30 or 45 seconds, same or different. And we're just going to do that for 15 or 20 or maybe 30 samples. I don't know how long we'll have, but... And then we're going to see if he can even tell the difference. And if he can't tell the difference, then there's no point in the rest of the video. Right? And I'm going to do the same thing. Ciati's going to do it for me as well. And it's going to be a very interesting video. Because, does the extra 20 grams of weight... Some people say that the 20 grams of weight... 20 grams is not really noticeable. I agree. 20 grams is not really noticeable. But at the end of the arms... Oh, it's more noticeable at the end of the arms. Is it? I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be so fun. Thank you, Bob, for sending me these motors to test. I hope that our test... So this will be happening not this coming week, but next. Siadi's going to come visit me, assuming the weather cooperates. So you can see this in about 2 weeks. They want me to weigh the drone with the props on. I mean, I can. I mean, the props are going to add, what are they going to add? They're like 15, 20 grams. 20 grams-ish. So you do the math. 20 grams. 20 grams with the bag. Anyway, it's going to be a real fun video. I'm looking forward to that. Ooh, battery straps missing too. I still think we're under 700 grams. Don't take this away from me, you mean SOBs. Don't take this away from me. 380, 499, 688, 680. Oh, see, it's possible that the Imperials would be slightly over 700 grams with the battery strap and the props. Not that it really matters. Okay. It's going to be fun. I should set up this overhead cam more often. It's really fun having it there to be able to refer to it. We're not going to live stream it. It's the battery is a 1006S. 1006S. Why is the battery lead so long, June Loco? June Loco, that is the battery. That's the XT60 lead that came with the ESC, and I didn't shorten it because I don't know. I just was building and didn't think to shorten it. But the good news is that it is exactly the same length between all three of them. So it's scientific. It's going to be an interesting video. Do the QAVS Johnny Edition arms work on the JB Edition? They do. I'm 99% sure they do, Chibi Kaiju. The arms for the different QAVS are interchangeable. It's the bottom plate and top plate that differ. I'm pretty sure. I know, Chibi, I know for sure that the standard QAVS arms are interchangeable with the JB Edition. That may be why they don't stock the JB Edition. So, not the Johnny. Joshua Bardwell replacement arm set 2 pieces. Well, hang on. This is in stock, man. Just buy this. It's in stock. You're good to go. Zipper Lips. People are talking about weight in the chat. Zipper Lips says, at a certain point, adding weight in exchange for durability is beneficial, like the plastics on an Apex. Yes. So, that's why I tried to hit a weight of about 700 grams for my all-up build for a 5-inch. I think that obviously it's a gradient, right? You can't just pick a single number and say this is the ideal. But I think that somewhere below 700 grams, you can get a 5-inch down. I mean, you could get a 5-inch to 250 grams, right? Like the Omegod 250. So really, the sky is the limit, or the floor is the limit. But below about 700 grams with a GoPro, or 600-ish grams without a GoPro, I think that you start compromising durability way, way too much for my liking. And there are people out there who say, that's bullshit. You can get a 600-gram 5-inch that you can bash into a bando all day long. Why, I've done it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't believe you. Sorry. And then they say, well, I'll send it to you and you test it. Okay, all right, we could just go round and round in circles. There's a reason that the bando bashers, like Bot Grinder's frame weighs 165 grams. The frame weighs 165 grams. That's a whole GoPro session different than my frame. They're just made for different things. So I shot for a frame weight of about 110, 115 grams and an all-up weight around 700 grams with a GoPro because I think that's the sweet spot between, like, by the time you're at 750 to 800 grams, now the flight performance is being affected in a way I don't like. We could save like a chunk of that by taking the battery out of the GoPro too. Worth pointing out. Okay. If you root the V2 DJI goggles, can you still use them for DJI FPV? Asks Constantine. Yes. The short answer is yes. Annabelle has a question in the Discord. Thank you for being a patron, Annabelle. I just bought the TBS Mambo Ethics, changing from Tyrannus QX7. Anything besides switching the Crossfire Micro is transferable, like settings, quads, etc. You cannot. Sadly, the TBS radios run Freedom TX, which is a fork of OpenTX, which means that in almost every way, using the radio is the same as using the QX7. The features and functions and menus are the same. The screen is smaller, so sometimes the menus don't look the same, but their DNA is the same. And with a little bit of poking around, you'll see that everything you remember from your QX7 is there in the Tango. However, it doesn't connect to OpenTX Companion. You can't import your models directly. So sadly, you will have to transfer all your models from scratch. You have to set them up from scratch. You can't transfer them. So that sucks. But that's what you got to do. Now you can back them up. Once you've done that, you can copy the models and radio folder off your SD card, and that will save all of your radio settings and your binding as well as your models. In fact, hang on, there's like 2 more things you have to save. Let me get the details right. Does GitHub have instructions on how to update? It does not. Well, I'll have to watch my own video. Fair enough. Ooh. Look at my old table and wow. It's always fun seeing how my room has changed. I didn't have chapter markers in this one, sadly. What files do you save? Come on, Bardwell. Here we go. Yeah, so deals with this when it flashes the firmware. So we're just going to close Tango 2, and there should be another one. This is your SD card and your SD card contents. Mine is named Tango_SD. Yours may or may not be named that. But the point is that you're going to see all these folders. Okay. And what we're going to do is... here we go. Here, that's what we need. So that's what you got to grab. If you back up these files on your SD card, then that is your complete radio setup, including all your binds. And once you've got your Mambo set up, copy those files somewhere and save them, and then you can restore them. You could also, if you had a new Mambo, you could move them. 406 FPV, I didn't weigh any of the quads with props. I didn't weigh any of the quads with props on. I know, the props were like 15, 20 grams. Just add 15 grams. It's easy. Just you do the math. Add 15 grams. It's not a problem. Duger asks, my DJI goggles are at firmware 0103. Can they be rooted? No, they cannot. Can you downgrade them? No, you cannot. Is there any way in the future to use WTFOS? Theoretically, maybe. They'll figure it out, but currently you cannot do it. And there is no... I'm pretty sure... Let's just double check. I'm pretty sure you're just boned. Rob Schlicht. The binds on the in Freedom TX, the binds are stored in that file that I showed. If you delete those files, all your binds are gone. I know that the Crossfire module carries the binds. I don't know why it's different in Freedom TX, but that's my understanding. Wiki. Supported firmware versions. Unsupported firmware versions for rooting. Yeah, 0300, you're screwed. You can't root. You can't do it. There is no way to downgrade it. If you already rooted prior to flashing that, then you're fine. But if your goggles came with 03 on them, or if you updated them to 03 without rooting them, you're done. Maybe someday that will change, but we don't know anything about that today. Steven's Box, I missed your super chat earlier. Apologies for that. Hopefully you're still around. I think it's time. Thank you for a $10 super chat, Steven's Box. I think it's time for a Black Box 101 vid for retirees like me with nothing better to do. Don't tell my wife. She's a tyrant. Thank you, Steven's Box. I would refer you to UAV Tech, or Mark Spatz is his name. His channel is UAV Tech. He has some of the best Black Box content on YouTube today. And he's where I go when I want to learn stuff. It's more. Thank you for €3. What do you think of the new iFlight Bob 75 quad? I don't know. Let's look at it. The iFlight Bob 57 rather. Bob 57. I'm sorry about that. Cinematic long range and freestyle 6-inch. That's interesting. You're not. I don't typically think of long range and freestyle as being the same thing. Long range is tailored for efficiency and long flight time. Freestyle is tailored for power and durability, and those two things are usually at opposite ends of a spectrum. We will often see on a freestyle quad, it's heavier. It's got a heavier frame. On a long range quad, it's spindly and can break. Not to say that you could try to split the difference and have a freestyle, a long range quad that's kind of little long range, little freestyle, but like for a freestyle quad, I want to know that if I crash it, I could most likely get back up again. And for a long range quad, I want it to have a lot of flight time and efficiency. And I'm not sure who out there, well, obviously Bob does. Who's Bob? So I'm not sure who out there is saying, I want a long range quad, but I'm not going too far. And occasionally I want to be able to freestyle it. Well, if that's you, then maybe this is for you. iFlight always makes great quads, obviously. I hope that goes without saying if it doesn't. This is very well built. I just know that because I know iFlight. I like the little things they're doing with mounting the XT60. Their build quality is great. I hate with a burning passion of 1,000 suns. Well, maybe only 999 suns. These stupid plastic wire protectors. They are not. You know what they are? Hang on. I'm going to see if I can show you. I hate them. Do I have a quad? Yes. I don't. Dang. Well, damn. I have one quad that has them on there, but they're not at this exact moment broken in the way that I hate. So these don't protect the wires. They just shatter. I mean, eventually they shatter in a crash, and then you have a sharp, jagged edge. And in my experience, as often as not, this broken wire protector is what cuts the wire. They make more problems than they solve, in my opinion. And I always break them and then end up just putting tape. And then once I put tape on the arms, the wires are fine forever. So this is one of those things that seems like a good idea until you actually use it in real life, and then it's a hassle. And I wish iFlight would stop doing it. iFlight respectfully probably disagrees with that and thinks it's a good idea. I can only speak for myself. People in the chat are saying this is better than no protection. I disagree, June Loco. It is worse than no protection. Because this protects the wires from prop strikes, probably. Okay. But they break in a crash, and then they cut the wires. Okay. So you've protected the wires from prop strikes, but you've introduced an additional failure mode. And I have cut more wires with these stupid broken plastic things than I have ever cut from a prop strike. Okay? That's my opinion. My opinion is that these are, in fact, worse than just taping the wires down. They result in more cut motor wires, and never mind that they shatter and they're sharp and cutting your fingers and nonsense anyway. People in the chat are saying that this is the best of a freestyle 5-inch and a long-range cinematic 7-inch. That's why they call it the Bob 5.7. If you say so. Now, if you say that this is a cinematic 6-inch, now I'm interested. Okay? You say this is a, you're not going to do hardcore freestyle, you know? This is not what this is for. What this is for is a slightly more agile 7-inch that can carry a GoPro 10 with no problem because it has 6-inch props and do agile car chasing and freestyle moves. Now I'm interested. It's all about how you market it and how you express the intention behind it. That's interesting. Don't tell me it's a freestyle quad. Tell me it's a cinematic. Yes. Now that's interesting. Okay. Thank you, Swift69, for a $5 super chat. Thank you, Mikhail Akiyas. Thank you for 25. Sloty, I think. Winter's coming, so time to prepare some Tiny Whoops. Can you recommend any resources to read, watch, and learn around that topic? Preparing Tiny Whoops? I give some reviews of Tiny Whoops. Ooh, I got a good one for you. I did a video not too long about Betaflight crash recovery. How's it doing? 44,000 views. Not bad. This is a really cool video that may change how you set up your quads for racing. Check that out. You may switch out of angle mode. You never know. Did the chat ever answer whether timing could be adjusted on FetTech ESCs? Let's do a poll. Zipper Lips, we're gonna do a poll. This is how I'm gonna. We're gonna phone a friend on this one because I don't know the answer. What? I thought you knew everything. Why? I feel like I've been lied to. I was told that you were the FPV know-it-all, not the FPV know-it-some, the know-it-all. I thought you literally knew everything in the world about FPV, and now you're telling me there is an FPV-related topic that you don't know about. I'm so disillusioned. Also, I was told that you were arrogant, and yet here you got a question you didn't know the answer to, and you were just like, I don't know. And then you asked the chat. But you kept the super chat money, I noticed. You didn't give that to the chat. You each get 4 cents. Sorry, what? Are you still here? Oh, I'm still alive. I'm sorry about that. Okay. We have 16 votes, and it's 50-50. This is not... Apparently you don't know either. That's not helpful. Are you guys lying? Are you guys just stalling the poll? Are you doing that on purpose? Ghost Branch! Ghost Branch, are you here? Ghost Branch would know. Ghost Branch, where are you when I need you? Thank you, Blizzard FPV, for $5 Canadian. Some money to buy some plastic wire covers. Yeah, I'll get right on that. Austin Schmidt, thank you for a $5 super chat. What are the secrets to flashing the latest firmware on Betaflight? I'm pretty sure I bricked my flight controller using all the right target. I mean, Austin, I don't know what you did wrong, and I'm not going to be able to figure out what you did wrong during a live stream. So by all means, email me, joshuabardwell@gmail.com. I'll be happy to try to figure it out with you. You've screwed something up. And the good news is that your flight controller almost certainly isn't permanently bricked. It almost certainly we can get it back, but I can't really figure out what you did wrong just from that super chat. Okay, Mr. Huggy, thank you, Mr. Huggy, for giving me confirmation that FedTech Configurator cannot adjust motor timing. It appears that the answer to that is no. Appreciate that, Mr. Huggy, for saving my ass. And you guys in the poll were completely unhelpful with your 49 to 51 yes and no, which I can only assume that some of you were trolling the poll, just trying to keep it at 50-50 so we couldn't help this guy. Shame on you. Ghost Branch says that it automatically sets timing, but you can't manually tweak it in the GUI. So it has auto timing, is their saying. Thank you, Ghost Branch. Appreciate that. But you shouldn't have to, he's saying you shouldn't have to change it. It should automatically set. Thank you, Ghost Branch. Okay. Why am I on this window? When did that happen? Crazeder, thank you for a $5 super chat. Had a faulty charger unbalanced 2 of my batteries. Is there a way to get the cells back in balance? Yeah, any charger with a balance charge function should be able to rebalance them. That's no problem. As long as they're within a safe voltage range of 3.0 to 4.2-ish volts. If they got overcharged slightly to like 4.3 or 4.35, that's probably fine. But I guess you need to discharge it one way or the other. So just any standard charger should be able to balance charge them. Crazeder. Mikhail Tehera, thank you for a €10 super chat. I put a question in the Discord. If you're able to answer, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Mikhail, for the super chat and for being a patron. The question is as follows. I have the Nazgul Evoke 5-inch as my only quad, apart from the DJI FPV, but I want a freestyle quad. Oh, the Nazgul Evoke 5-inch is a freestyle quad, so you're good there. I don't know if I just buy another Evoke frame and buy myself. What's the best frame, independent of price? I want a Cinewhoop 2. I think the GetRC Cinebot 3.0 is a good choice. What do you think? I mean, the Evoke is a great 5-inch freestyle quad. I would just fly the hell out of that. I think the Evoke frame is not the most durable, in part because of the light pipes in the arms. So if you wanted to try a different frame, you could, but like you could get into a situation where the motor wires aren't long enough, you know. So I would probably stick to the Evoke frame. It's a very well-made quad, and I wouldn't rush to change the frame. Yeah, I guess I would ask, what is it you don't like about the Evoke that's making you want to switch away from the frame? That's what I would say. Let's see here. All right. Oh my goodness, it's 2:53. We are 7 minutes from the end of the stream. Aaron Ciotti is going to be streaming, and he's going to be posting the link to his stream here in the chat. As well, I don't want to jinx it, but we have gone the entire stream without dropping a frame, without disconnecting once. Thank you, Comcast. Mike, there's some discussion in the chat about Vanover being arrogant versus humble. I would not call Vanover humble, but I certainly think that if you've only ever seen him on DRL, then your perception of him is probably... It'd be like watching pro wrestling and thinking you know what pro wrestlers are like. When he is at a race or he's on TV, he sometimes talks shit. That's expected. It does not in any way reflect his true character. He is... I would say that for someone of his extraordinary level of skill, talent, and accomplishment, he is very, very well-centered as a person and respectful of people of all skill levels. He is confident at a level that is proportional to his ability. So if you say, hey, Vanover, can you do this? He'll be like, fuck yeah, I can do it. He probably wouldn't say the F word because he's a good Christian boy. He would say, heck yeah, I could do it. Absolutely. And if you said, I'm going to do it better than you, he'd be like, no, you're not. He's competitive, right? But I think that a lot of times his competitive nature and his confidence is mistaken for arrogance, and they're not, because at the same time, he could say, you know, if you say, hey, Vanover, who's going to win the race between you and Min Chan Kim and Evan Turner? He'd be like, the best man's going to win. I'm going to do my best, you know? So I think that he does a really good job of walking that line. And if somebody said, you know, hey, Mr. Vanover, could you sign my quad? He'll be like, yeah, hey, kid, come on over here. Like, he's not full of himself. He is not above it all. He is a very talented person with a lot of accomplishments under his belt, and he is not going to downplay those out of a false sense of humility that at some level would disrespect his who he is. But at the same time, I would not say he's an arrogant person. So that's my take on it. Anyway. And if you've only ever seen him on DRL, that's not at all who he is the rest of the time. That's just him talking trash because he's on a television show. If you want to switch from the Evoke because it's not durable enough, you can check out my website, fpvknowitall.com, which has suggested 5-inch frames. That's what I would say about that. Yeah, it's really interesting because he will 100% not take like shit from somebody who's talking shit about him, right? But it doesn't manifest as this, you know, compulsive. People who are like arrogant can't take any criticism, can't ever accept that they, you know, that they might not be the best at everything, right? And he's not like that at all. He's not like that at all. But it doesn't really come off as a fake, false sense of humility either. I speak for myself. He might have been more like that when he was younger, although I don't think so. I think even when I think he's gotten better about it as he's gotten older. But even when he was younger, I mean, I've known him for several years now, since I first met him in like 18. You know, he's still young as heck. Yeah. Okay, folks. We are going to start wrapping up. It's tough. It's got to be tough because when you're sort of at the top like he is, if you start pretending like you're not as good as you really are, it comes off as insincere, you know? And there's people who try to fake humility and seem insincere. And also, it's just not respectful of yourself in a way. So it's tough to sort of be one of the best at something and not come off as arrogant while still expressing confidence and capability. It's very tough. I think he does a good job about it. Casey Henderson, I have been getting your emails, man. I hope you're enjoying that quad I sent you. I hope you're enjoying it, man. Hey, Andy, Andy, I want to let you know I can see that your messages are getting auto-moderated because they contain words that YouTube thinks are swear words. I want to let you know I'm not blocking them, but I'm also not approving them because I'm not just going to let you sit here and shit talk my friend in the chat. We're not going to do that. So, you know, you don't have to like Vanover, but I'm also not going to approve your messages where you say shit about him that I don't agree with because he's a friend of mine. So just want to let you know that's where we're slicing that line. Alrighty, folks. Oh, Peter got the SB Racing F3 working. 4 servos working. Ah, yes, that's a win for the chat. That's a win for the live stream. We started the live stream with a question from him about servos. Now, at the end of the stream, he got it. That is amazing. That is amazing. And we have gone the entire stream without a dropout. We're going to let Aaron Ciotti start streaming at 3. Head on over to his channel. That's going to do it for me. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the Monday evening stream. Good night, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Whatever. I will see y'all. See y'all next time.